kids, it's me, Toni Homeperm, the singing diva of Long Island. If you like videos where you get to see me create fabulous drag looks, well then guess what? You've tuned into the right channel. Now today I created this look that you see here with my Chaotic Cosmetics Deadly Dreamer palette, and also with the Chaotic Cosmetics Spectra Chrome palette. So these are the two palettes that we use today to create our look. This is the Deadly Dreamer. I want to blind you with the mirror. Beautiful, highly pigmented mattes, and these beautiful topper highlight colors. I think I forgot to mention in my outro that I used this color Obsessive as my highlight. You can see it there on the upper cheek. Blinding, such a great highlight color. So it was this palette, and also the Spectra Chrome palette. This is all duochrome shades. I used like 3 of these on the lid to create this look, and those are the palettes that I used today from Chaotic Cosmetics, which of course my dear friend Ashley Jade is the CEO. Now, if you're wondering why there haven't been many videos from me in the past few months, I think the last one was about 2 months ago, I'm going to tell you as I'm getting ready and putting on my makeup what happened to me. And just I guess as a trigger warning, if you know, you don't want to hear about anything medical or see, you know, a scar that's healing, then this may not be the video for you. You may choose to not watch this if you feel you can't and you have to exit out of it at this point. I completely understand. So I think that's everything I need to tell you about what I used today to create this look. So let's not waste any more time. Let me roll the film back in time, and I will show you how I created this look today. Stay tuned. And I'm back. I did my base foundation, glued my eyebrows down, created new eyebrows, which I'm not thrilled with them, but then again, I haven't done eyebrows in about in 2 months. So a little out of practice with doing eyebrows. Yeah, I guess so. But we'll get there. They're not horrible. When the whole look is complete, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So as I probably said in the intro, I'm using my new Chaotic Cosmetics Deadly Dreamer palette. This is the inside of the palette. Beautiful color story. These are all highlighters, or they could be used as toppers. These are all your mattes, and I actually want to combine it with another Chaotic Cosmetics palette that I never got a chance to use, the Spectra Chrome. And these are all beautiful duochrome shades, and yeah, I definitely want to do something with these two. So yeah, why not? Why the heck not? And I'll probably deepen the look up with some of the black, which is that color, yeah, Nightmare, that black. So I really want to use these lashes that I got from Chaotic, these purple and green, really beautiful big lashes for a spooky Halloween kind of look. Let's see if I can open that. I just thought it would be a fun Halloween kind of look. I love purple and green for Halloween. And there are the lashes. You can see the beautiful purple and green. Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, those are the lashes I want to use. So I figured, why not do sort of a purple-green kind of eyeshadow look. Purple and green don't really blend into each other, so probably my thought is to do the purple into some of that blue, then into some of that green, and deepen it with the black, and something from the Spectra Chrome palette for the lid. Use my Blend Bunny brushes. I don't think I've used these too often because well, last video I did was with the new Primal palette from Blend Bunny, and it's not the newest palette anymore. There's already another palette out. I don't remember the name, but needless to say, I think I used these with that palette, but I haven't used them since, and there's good reason for that. So, as I was saying in the intro, yeah, I have been fairly absent from YouTube, TikTok, from performing, and, you know, I decided to go back and rewatch my last video to see where I left things, because a lot has happened since then. The last video I was talking about a urinary tract infection that I was dealing with that was pretty bad, and I left that video off with saying, like, well, I still hadn't really fully recovered from that, and it was like I was saying, you know, I still had some issues and I needed to take care of them. So what happened was, around August 1st, that's when my new insurance went into effect, and I decided to make an appointment with a different urologist, this one out of the Stony Brook group. Stony Brook is a big hospital, university here on Long Island, and they're great. So, what did I do? I made, that looks really, really nice, I have to say. Usually I do like one eye and then I go off and do the other, but I have so much to talk about. Maybe I should just do each side as I talk about it. Let's see, the hooded eye, you gotta blend out those creasy things. Okay. By the way, I used my P. Louise base on the eye lid for this look. I love that stuff. Okay, so I got my new insurance, made an appointment with a urologist out of Stony Brook, and I got the appointment right away. Well, I had one appointment, and then just as I had made the appointment, they called me back and said, oh, we just had a cancellation that's much earlier. Would you want it? And I was like, yes, I'll take it. So, I went to that doctor, that urologist from Stony Brook, and he's so great. I was so much happier with him than the first urologist I went to see, who, you know, I will not go back to. So I had explained to the new doctor everything that happened as far as the urinary tract infection. And he didn't even, he just listened to my story. He was so knowledgeable, and he listened to my whole story. He didn't even examine me yet, and he said, I can tell you right now that what you have is not a urinary tract infection. He said, you have something called prostatitis. He said it's an infection in the prostate, and it needs a much stronger antibiotic over a much longer period of time to get rid of it. He said everything that you've had so far, all the courses of antibiotics, would have worked on a urinary tract infection, but they will not work on on prostatitis, which is an infection in the prostate. He said it's just because the prostate is an organ, and an infection inside it, you've got to really treat it aggressively. And I was just like, oh, thank God, finally someone who, you know, is listening to me, understands what's happening, has an explanation. I mean, it was wonderful. It really was. Right now, I think we're going to go into the blue of Daydreamer from this palette. Oh, what a beautiful blue. That will be great to blend into the green. Yes, so that's what happened. He gave me like almost a month-long treatment of antibiotics. That was much more aggressive than what I'd been given previously, and that seemed to do the trick. And I was getting better from the what I thought was the urinary tract infection, which was actually prostatitis. Okay, let's go in with this green. So I thought everything was hunky-dory. Thought I was getting better. Everything was fine. So I think it was around August 19th or 20th, and I had a show to do at the Shabby Tabby Cat Cafe with my good Judy Ashley Jade, who is also the CEO of Chaotic Cosmetics. And we were doing a bingo, a drag bingo. And that was a Saturday night. Now, the night just before, the Friday night, all of a sudden I was having this weird problem. I walked up my stairs, and I was out of breath. I was like, and I was like, what the heck is this? What's going on? And I couldn't understand it. I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it. I thought it was just, I don't know. I was thinking, oh, here's the other thing. For the past weeks prior, I was having I was doing a lot of coughing. I was coughing a lot. And I just assumed that it was allergies. So I was taking my allergy medication, and I was taking Mucinex to stop, coughing, and I was sucking on a lot of Ricolas and mints like that, or not mints, but lozenges, thinking that would, work on the cough. So then I started with that breathing issue where it was like I walked up my steps in my house to go to I'm in the upstairs, and I was just like, what the heck is this? I've never experienced anything like that in my life, and I did not know what to make of it, and I thought the allergies were just really bad. I guess I really didn't want to think it was anything else. So that was like a Friday night. Then the next night, Saturday, that's when I had my show at the Shabby Tabby with Ashley Jade, and I was doing so poorly, feeling so poorly, even doing my makeup. I was like breaking out in like a cold sweat doing my makeup, which isn't something that's never ever happened to me. I really don't sweat, not like that anyway, and it was like a cold, clammy sweat, and so I pulled myself together though, got to the Shabby Tabby, but also because of the cough and everything, I realized I couldn't sing, which is not like me. I mean, that's what I do is I sing live. So I had to lip sync a couple numbers, and we were each supposed to do like 4 numbers, and I got to, after I finished the second one, and even during the first one, I had to like hold on to a chair. That's how badly I was feeling. And after I did the second number, and I sat down, and I told Ashley, I said, girl, I said, I can't do another number. I said, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I said, I'm okay if I just sit here and like call the bingo numbers. I said, I'll be okay. But trying to perform, I said, I can't do it. And I said, you're gonna have to do just the rest of the performances. And she was like, no, it's okay, I understand. She said, I could tell. She said, as soon as she walked in and she saw me, she said she could tell something was wrong, that I wasn't, myself, which I was not. I feel like that blue is like really taken over, and I didn't want the blue to take over. I wanted it to be more the green and the purple. So let's get some more purple in there. But needless to say, being a professional, I battled my way through it, and did finished the show and everything. And usually what I do when I do the Shabby Tabby shows is, because it's not far from the house, my husband just drops me off, and creasing. He drops me off. He picks me up when I'm done. I'm just trying to see how that looks. Are we happy with it? We got to do some deepening, I guess. Still, we're getting there. Like I said, I haven't done makeup in like 2 months now. So, I mean, getting home from that, I just thought I was gonna collapse. I remember like I was taking stuff off as soon as I got in the door, like in the kitchen, because I was just so it's just really bad. It's really bad. And my husband was just like, you're probably just having an anxiety attack, because you had all those problems with the prostatitis, and he said that's probably all it is. And and I wanted to think that that's all it was. That it was just got an itch there. When you have an itch and drag, you just have to tap. You can't go like this. So, all right, let's try working a little black into the look. This color nightmare. So. That was Saturday night. Came home and just felt like crap. Just felt horrible. So Sunday morning, this is where it really gets fun. I woke up and I just knew something was not right. I just felt something was wrong with me physically, and it was very early Sunday morning, and I'm at the kitchen table with my husband, and I said to him, I said, something is wrong with me. I don't feel right, and primer got a little messy there. We'll fix it. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the urgent care just up the street, and I'm just gonna let them check me. I said because something it just doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong. And my husband was like, it's probably just an anxiety attack. You've just been so worried about, the prostatitis and all that. And I was like, I don't know. I just think it's something more than that. And he's like, well, then go to the urgent care. Let them, let them check you out. I said, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. Let's go back with some of that purple there. So I go to the urgent care, and this is the same place that I went to twice before with the urinary tract infection. Well, what I thought was the urinary tract infection. They didn't know it was prostatitis. Not their fault. Actually, I mean, the doctor had told me, if the second time, if I was still having, an issue, go to a urologist. So, I mean, they're handling all kinds of issues, So, he said if I was still having a problem, go to a specialist. So, I respected that. So I went back to the urgent care, and I'm mixing the purple and the black right there. I told them what was going on, and they said, okay, the doctor said, let's do a quick EKG on you. So they do the EKG on me, and I remember, like, even when I was trying to, like, lay flat, I was having, like, problems breathing. I was like very, very short of breath. I almost couldn't lay down for them to do the EKG, but I was able to lay down. They did the EKG, and the doctor came back in after reading the results, and he said to me, a normal heart rate is 60 beats per minute. He said, and right now you are at 182 beats per minute. He said, you have to go to the emergency right now. What happened here? The glue is coming up. No. Well, that happens sometimes. We got it fixed. We got it. Okay. So that's what the doctor at the urgent care said. You've got to go to the emergency right now. So I told him, I said, oh, well, I was like, what was I going to say? I was like, okay, I will, the urgent care is only like maybe a half mile from my house. So I said, I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to have my husband take me to the emergency at Stony Brook Hospital. And the doctor said, well, I'm here, take this copy of your EKG. He said, I'm going to call ahead to the emergency room and let them know you're coming, and they need to see you immediately. So that's what happened. I got in the car, came home, told my husband, called him, and said, listen, I'm just leaving the urgent care. This is what the doctor told me. You got to take me to the emergency right now. And of course my husband was like, oh okay. So I pull into the driveway, and my husband is already waiting, and he jumps in the driver's seat because I really shouldn't have been driving, and he takes me to Stony Brook Emergency. And at the time, I didn't think anybody was allowed to come in with me because of COVID and all that. So he just dropped me off at the emergency. I went in, and they just I told them what was going on, and they just took me in like 1, 2, 3. There was no. I didn't even sit down in the waiting room area. They just took me right away. Reason being because as far as priority of things, when it's an issue of the heart, that's like top priority. They're gonna pull you in right away, which is good that they do that. But it's bad that I had to have that. Anyway, so they rushed me into a room, and next thing I know, I'm hooked up to heart monitor and all these machines, and I think they put me on oxygen, and they ran all these tests and everything, and the doctor there explained to me that my heart was in what's called AFib. And what that means is, well, as he described it to me, when your heart beats, the heart beats like this. It goes like bump, 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 bump. That's, the rhythm of the heart. When you listen to somebody's heartbeat, that's what you hear. You hear bump, 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 because the top is going bump and the bottom is going bump. So bump, 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 bump. When you're in AFib, the top is going like, it's not like a full bump, like a full squeeze. It's just sort of like vibrating, I guess, which is not good. It's not good. And on top of that, they also discovered that I had a leaky aortic valve. So what was told to me at that point was they were going to have to keep me in the hospital. They were going to have to do something first called an electroconversion. That's where they put a like a wire down your esophagus. They knock you out for that. They look in the heart to see if there's any clots first, and as long as there's no clots, they give the heart like a shock, and it reboots the heart, and then you're back into normal heartbeat, where instead of it going it's now bump, 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 regular heartbeat. So I think I was there like the Sunday, Monday, and I think Tuesday they did the electroconversion. I think is what happened, and that went off without a hitch. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Easy peasy. They did the electroconversion, and they got my heart back to a normal, what's called normal sinus rhythm. So it went back to like a normal, between like 60 and 50 heartbeats per minute, which was great. So that was that part of it, and I knew I still had to deal with the leaky valve, which, as they told me, I'll get to that, but that was going to require surgery. But first things first, after you come out of the electroconversion procedure, what they have to do is they have to put you on some form of blood thinner to prevent any clots from developing. I guess anytime you do anything to the heart, there's always a chance that a clot could develop, and of course that could be really bad. So they put you on blood thinner First they put you, well, for me anyway, first they put me on something called heparin, which is through an IV, and they do that because that's since it's through the IV, they can shut that off. If there's any kind of problem, they can shut that off immediately, and the blood thinner stops. And from there, then you progress to an oral blood thinner, such as Alexis, which is what they gave me. So, yeah, so we went from the heparin to the Alexis. We were doing good. Then they were gonna send me home. The plan was send me home, and we'd come back in a couple weeks for the surgery. The morning I was supposed to come home, something happened. So I went to the bathroom. Yes, I went to the bathroom, and I sat on the toilet bowl, and I passed out. I have no memory. I mean, I know I went in the bathroom. I know I sat down in the toilet bowl. I don't remember feeling lightheaded or passing out. I just remember it just sort of stopped. I came to. I was back in my hospital bed, and people were sort of pulling me. I was like on a sheet, and they were pulling me onto the bed, and it was a whole team of people around me. And I was like, I had no clue what was going on. So, turned out that the blood thinners opened up a massive bleeding ulcer in the duodenum, in my stomach area. And I lost like 2 pints of blood while I was on the toilet bowl. And I was just like, so even when I came to, I was very woozy, and they told me they had to do like all these scans to try and figure out, what exactly was happening, where it was coming from, all that good stuff. And they did do that, and they ended up performing like an emergency endoscopy on me to clip and cauterize this bleeding ulcer that had opened up inside of me. So yeah, that was not pleasant. That was not pleasant at all. Here I was, I thought it was, bad enough that I was dealing with the issues of the heart, but now having to deal with of this bleeding ulcer was like, I just didn't know what to think. I mean, really, it just sort of threw me for a loop, to be quite honest. So, as I was saying, they had to do the emergency endoscopy, clip and cauterize the bleeding ulcer, and what that meant was they now had to stop the blood thinners that I was on, because with a bleeding ulcer, you can't be taking blood thinners because it's going to make it bleed. So you have to now wait for the bleeding ulcer to stop bleeding so that they can put you back on the blood thinners, which is what happened. So it was like, had to wait for the bleeding of the ulcer to stop. They were then able to start the blood thinners again, and that's what happened. I was doing okay on the blood thinners, and I was doing okay on the blood thinners. All was progressing again. It's like, was back to the original plan that I'd be on the blood thinners, then I would go home, a couple of weeks, come back for the surgery. So, and everything seemed to be hunky-dory. I was doing okay on the blood thinners. Everything was fine. They decided, I could go home, and I think we're going to do a little bit of white up there. this color Blank Stare. So again, it was another Thursday, and I was supposed to be going home that day. I remember I had gotten up, and I was using a CPAP machine because I also have sleep apnea that the hospital had provided, and I had gotten up out of the bed, and I went to turn that CPAP machine off, and I passed out again and fell. But fortunately, I didn't like hit my head or anything, which thank God. And I was just like, I had to then make my way to the bathroom, and I had started bleeding again, which meant that the ulcer had opened up again. And I knew immediately I was not going home. So I had I called the nurse, and I said, I'm bleeding again. I said, I'm pretty sure I'm not going home today. He was like, probably not. So they started checking me again, and actually what had happened with the first endoscopy is the gastroenterologist had told me, it was really, really bad. And sometimes when it's as bad as you have it, sometimes we may not be able to close the whole thing all at once. We may have to do a second endoscopy. I always have to be extra. What can I say? So, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They had to do a second endoscopy on me, and I don't know what it was with the second time around when the ulcer opened up. I was in agony. I was in such pain. I didn't have that pain the first time with the first ulcer. The second time around, though, with the ulcer, really, really painful, and I felt like somebody was driving a knife into my stomach. That's how bad it was. Trying to get a better blend there. I don't know. My blending skills they are what they are. What can I say? Hopefully with the cut crease and everything, it'll all come together. So yeah, the pain was so bad, they ended up giving me 2 shots of Dilaudid, which is a very, very heavy-duty opiate painkiller. But that's how bad it was. I was lying there in such agony, and I was in this cold sweat, and my husband was like just taking paper towel and kept like toweling my head off because I was like sweating like a pig. And not in a good way. I mean, it was just so horrible. I was literally crying. I was crying, and I told him, I said, I can't believe this pain. I said, I've just never felt pain like this before in my life. Fortunately, it only took a few minutes after they gave me that Dilaudid. The pain was gone. Pain was gone. So, trying to decide if I like how that looks, or did it get too muddy? I don't know. I may have ruined it. I don't know. I think this side is darker. This side is darker than this side. So let's go back in. Let's go back in and keep talking. So yes, so they gave me the Dilaudid, and that got me through that night, and the very next morning, second endoscopy. And, you know, turned out that that first ulcer just, you know, didn't close completely, and they had to do a little more clipping to seal it off, which again now meant the blood thinners stop, gotta wait for the ulcer to stop bleeding, and then start the blood thinners again, start the whole process as if it had never been done before. And that's indeed what happened. They ended up doing like a third endoscopy on me just because they wanted to make sure that it was completely closed, which, you know, I didn't mind. The oh, I went a little dark there. I went a little dark there. It's supposed to be more purple than black. Oh boy. Well, one thing I can say about this palette is it's definitely pigmented. Can't complain about that, Ashley Jade. So yeah, so they did the third endoscopy. But the endoscopy is nothing. I mean, they knock you out, and they do whatever they got to do, and then you come to it's over. So they did that third endoscopy just to make sure that there was no bleeding, which there wasn't. Make sure that the ulcer was okay, that it was healing up, which it was. And finally now, you know, the bleeding stopped. Was on the blood thinners. Everything was okay. And finally, once again, they were saying, okay, we're going to be able to send you home. And that time, third time, I was finally able to go home. And that was after being in the hospital for 20 days. Very long time to be in the hospital. So after 20 days, I was finally released and was able to go home. And for most of the time in the hospital, I couldn't eat. Most of the time I was on what they call a clear liquid diet. It's like clear broth, gelatin, apple juice, cranberry juice, and many times, a lot of the times, because of the ulcer and everything, I couldn't even eat that. So I lost like 20 pounds in the hospital. When I came home, all of a sudden, all these like pants that were like too tight for me to wear before the pandemic, after the pandemic, because I'm not doing anything, just being home and eating, I had all these clothes that I was now able to fit into, which that was one of the only, really like one of the only positive things out of the whole experience was losing that weight. Not that I recommend that form of weight loss at all, not in the slightest. That was that was my 20-day stay in the hospital. All right, let me go off camera, cut my crease, and see what we have, and then we're gonna work on the lid and see how that goes. Stay tuned. Okay, so I cut my crease, and it's looking a lot better. Cutting the crease always helps give you some more definition and makes it look less sloppy, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to use now the Spectra Chrome palette, and I think I'm going to like put this color ultramarine on at the outer corner. And then I'm going to go in with this color jade and finish with this color canary. And you can see just how beautiful they reflect the light, and I'm just going to have some fun with it. Okay, so first is ultramarine. Let's see how that goes on. Let me get my little mirror so I can see here. So I did finally get released from the hospital after 20 days. Came home. Had all these medications, still have all these medications that I'm on now. And whole new diet regimen that I have to follow. You know, salt is especially bad for me. It's really not good for anybody, but especially somebody who has a heart condition. It's not good. Okay. By the way, I put some. I cut the crease with. First, I used some makeup remover and a Q-tip. Then I put my P. Louise base down, and then I put some NYX glitter primer down. What is that? I don't know why I'm having a problem with the glue today, but I am. All right, so there's that color on the outside. I'm just laying it down. We'll go back and blend. And now this color, Jade. There we go. So, yeah, so I came home, all these medications, having to follow a brand new diet, and it just, you know, it was, well, you know, it is what it is. It's what I have to deal with. And then there was, you know, a ton of appointments that I needed to make. How's that looking? I'm not sure. May have to do some liner work. We'll see. But I have some great cake liners from Chaotic, so if I need to do a little liner work, it's fine. Yeah, it's like I don't have a lot of definition here now. It's my fault. So I came home, and there were a ton of things that had to be done in preparation for the surgery, the heart surgery. Here's the thing. Replacing the aortic valve when you're having heart surgery. There's two different types of valves that they can do. The first is it's a metal valve that they use to replace a valve. The great thing about the metal valve is it never runs out. It never wears out because it's made of metal. But the drawback to it is you're on heavy duty, serious blood thinners for the rest of your life when you have a metal valve. Things like Coumadin and what's the other one, Wayfarin, and they're you know really heavy duty, and you have to like get your blood tested like every week, and it's not good. It's not good. The other type of valve is called a biovalve, and they use either a pig or a cow valve, and the heart valve, and they use that to replace your damaged valve. In my case, it was a leaky valve. So, I opted for the biovalve, and my surgeon likes to use cow valves, or at least in my case, he felt the cow valve was the best choice. And my reasoning for that was that I didn't want to be on the blood thinners and having to go like every week to have my blood tested and all that. You know, as I said to him, you know, I do want to think about the quality of my life. Now here's the thing: this type of surgery I needed. Well, anytime they replace a heart valve, they can do it one of two ways. The newer way is they can just go through like an artery in your groin, and they snake a wire and all this, and they're able to just do it that way and replace the valve. It's minimally invasive. The other way is they've got to cut open your chest and open it up, and they operate on your heart itself. Because of my what was going on, the things going on with my heart, he had to. He told me he was going to have to go in through the chest. Couldn't do minimally invasive. Now that was pretty scary for me to hear that. You know, we're gonna have to go into your chest. You know, cut into your chest and you know, do the valve replacement that way. The thing of it is, I required more than just the valve to be replaced. They also had to do they did something called a maze procedure, and what that entails is come on. They along with replacing the valve with a new valve, they have to they do something called an ablation, which helps to prevent the heart from going into AFib again. It sort of eliminates some electrical pathways that would create AFib, and they like create like this some scar tissue, because the electrical current can't pass over or through heart scar tissue, and so that was also why they needed to do the type of surgery on me that they did. You know, it is what it is. So I knew I was going to be having all of these surgeries, and I basically, you know, and you know, I came home, I was on all these medications, and you know, I still was pretty weak. I ended up canceling, you know, all my live appearances, because you know, there was no way I could do anything. And I came home, and I just had to prepare for you know, the surgery, because there was a lot of other doctors that I had to see. I also still had to see the gastroenterologist, because I was still, you know, had to and still have to deal with you know, the ulcer, make sure that's taken care of. Cardiologist, electrocardiologist, back to see the heart surgeon. I mean, it was just it was a lot to do. It was a lot to do, and you know, the surgery finally was. They set up the date. It was Thursday the 13th, and it was kind of scary. You know, I've never really been sick. I've always been healthy. I've always just been, you know, jump up out of bed, get going, you know, rehearsing for shows, doing shows, planning shows. I mean, that's what I was doing. And now I was, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do it. And also I just I really wasn't in the I wasn't in the headspace to do any videos either. I just wasn't feeling it. Okay, well, I am looking at this, and I just don't know if I like what I put together. I mean, individually the colors are great, but I'm just not sure about my technique. I'm hoping that if I do some liner work, maybe that'll make it better for me. Because right now I'm not liking my technique. Okay, the shadows are fine. It's nothing to do with them. I mean, individually they're beautiful. Especially these duochromes, they're just stunning. I'm just not happy with how I applied them and the combination that I applied them. I just think I don't know. I just feel like I messed up. So let me try some doing some liner work, and I'll come back after that. Okay, I actually took a break, had some lunch with my husband, and came back. And as you can see, I did some cake liner work, Chaotic Cosmetics cake liner, of course. I could have done white, but I always do the white. I went and looked in my collection, and I don't know what color this is. The label fell off. So Ashley Jade, you would have to tell me which color this is, but it's sort of this, pastel neon green, and I thought it would look really nice to help define the crease again, because that's what was bothering me, was like I didn't have a defined crease, and I just don't like, for me, I don't like how that looks. So it's just my thing. The Chaotic Cosmetics cake liners are so good. Also, I did a little bit of black liner with the Chaotic Cosmetics felt tip liner on the upper eyelid. I always do that for added definition. Okay, so we're gonna jump back to the Deadly Dreamer palette. Smoke out the bottom of the eye. What were we discussing? The actual heart valve replacement surgery. So that actually took place on October 13th. Yes, that was the day. And honestly, I don't really remember much. I went in very early. I think I had to be there at like 5. And they do a couple more tests and all. And then the next thing you know, before you know it, they're wheeling you into the surgical room, the operating room, and I don't even really remember, barely remember going in there. And the next thing I know, I was waking up in the recovery room. And woke up, and now when you wake up from this, because this is like it's like a 5 to 6 hour long operation. It's a long operation, and they gotta they cut into here. I don't know if I should even show you a little bit of it. It's healing up quite nicely. So this will fade dramatically over time. And a 6 hour 5 to 6 hour operation. When you come to, you're hooked up to so many machines. There's so many IVs. There was like a thing in the neck. Had a bladder catheter. I mean, it was just like you're hooked up to everything. Now, they had told my husband in the morning. He had said, he asked. He said, "Will I be able to see Toni, you know, at the end of the day?" And they were like, "Oh, he's going to be out of it. I mean, if you might be able to look in on him, but he'll be, you know, he's not going to be awake." So he left. His intention was, you know, they would just the hospital, the surgical liaison would be updating him on how everything was, and he would come back in the morning when I woke up. But I woke up like not too long after the surgery, and you know, came to and first saw the nurse, and I got the breathing tube in my throat, so I can't talk. So I just wave hello to her to let her know that I'm awake, and apparently I was very much more alert than they're used to seeing anybody after that type of surgery. And then my surgeon came in to see me, and I was trying to communicate to him through gestures and things. Like I was going like, my heart, how is it? And he, was like, he was telling me, oh, everything went great. The surgery was, no issues. We did everything. Everything is great now. And he said, we're gonna take the breathing tube out of you, because they don't like to keep those things in you for a long time. And if you're awake and alert, and you as I was, there's no reason to keep the breathing tube in. Meanwhile, my husband had just called the nurses station, wanting to know like what my condition was, and the nurse was like, he thought I was still going to be out of it, because that's what they told him in the morning. And the nurse was like, "Oh, he's talking to his surgeon right now." She's like, "Well, not talking, but he's gesturing with his hands." And my husband was like, I thought he was going to be out of it all day." And they're like, "Well, no, he's pretty awake and alert." And he's like, "Well, can I come and see him?" And they're like, "Of course, of course." So by that time they took the breathing tube out. It was fine. And the first thing I said was, "Can I please have the phone? I want to talk to my husband." So I called him, and he was like, I'm just getting ready to come and see you." I was like, "Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm okay. Surgery was fine. I feel okay. I'm okay." So he was like, "Okay, I'm going to be up there in just a little bit." And so then he came to see me, and that was pretty much it. And then from there it was just recuperation, and I recuperated really quick. They were quite shocked with how well I did in the hospital. I'm thinking of using one of these highlights just in the very middle of the eye. Which one would be good? I think this color. Cold. Cold, would that be the best one? Yeah, that's got sort of bluish greenish. So that's it there. Let's see, a little right in the middle. Just on top of there. Just to see if it gives a little bit of pop. I think I will use that as my highlight too. Yes, it's really pretty. And I don't know, that's been pretty much it. The surgery was a success. I was only in for 5 days this time, as opposed to that first time in the hospital where I was in for 20 days. This is just my NYIiiiice Jumbo Eye pencil in the color milk. It's a white. I love that. And then it was just came home, and I've been recovering. Now, of course, I do have quite a bit of soreness here. Not really that much, but it's a little sore because, you know, they did cut into the chest and everything. So it's like for 6 weeks. I've got to be really careful. I can't lift anything. I'm not allowed to drive right now. I can't even sit in the passenger seat in the front of the car, because if like something happened, the airbag went off and hit my chest, it could be really bad. So I have to be very protective of the chest area right now. And obviously I'm not performing right now because there's no way I could put like a my corset / body shaper on. It would not be good for the healing. And other than that, though, I'm doing okay. It's just been a long journey to get to here, and I've just been feeling like I haven't done my makeup in so long, and I'm like, if I don't do it, I'm just not gonna have the desire to do it. So I said, let's just force myself to do it. Throw a look together, do something, just so I can sort of get back into it. And so far, so good. So that's pretty much everything as far as where I'm at with my health and everything. So I'm hoping by December that I might be performing again. I think I should be pretty much recovered fully from the surgery by then. Full recovery takes a little bit longer than that, but I think by December I should be ready to start performing again. We'll see what happens. Maybe nobody's going to want me in a show anymore. I don't know. They've probably all forgotten who I am. But anyway, that's the whole story. So let me hop off camera, finish this look off completely, and come back with the completed drag look. What do you say? And I'm back, and here it is, the finished drag look. What do you all think? I think all in all, at the end of the day, I was able to pull everything together, and I'm happy with the look. I think it's okay. It's not something that I would do if I was performing live, but that's why I do these videos, so I can play around with different techniques, different colors that I wouldn't do for my typical drag performance. So now, what did I do to complete the look after I went off camera? Well, of course, there is drag contouring and highlighting for blush. I used my Chaotic Cosmetics Bang & Blush palette, and I actually used a different color. I used this deep purple called Explode, and yes, Explode. Wasn't sure if it was Explore or Explode. It's Explode. And I of course, it's a very deep color, and me being the color of raw chicken, I can't use a lot of it, otherwise it will just look like clown makeup, more so than it does already. But just a little bit of it, and it just, gave some flush color to the cheeks. I always put it like over there, but you can't really see it with this wig. And what else? The lip, I lined in black, and then I wanted a deep purple, so I used this liquid lipstick that I got from Sephora. It's a Sephora brand, and that's what I did on the lip. And of course, these beautiful long eyelashes from Chaotic Cosmetics, the black with the purple and the green. And I think the green liner that I did just complements the green that's in the eyelashes so beautifully. And of course, a wig done by my husband, and beautiful custom-made jewelry by Alexis Flame. This is from her Crystal Fire by Alexis Flame collection. This was made especially for me. I love it. It's so beautiful. And that is everything that I did to do the look. Now, I have to admit, not having done my face in such a long time, I really felt out of practice. I poked myself in this eye with the mascara wand. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't damage the eye or anything. I was even able to put my contacts in. But I'm happy that I pushed myself today to get back into doing a look. And fingers crossed. I'm going to try to do at least one a week. In my last video, which was months ago, I said I was going to try to do one a week. I know there's no way I could do 3 a week. Just not up to that. And I just have too many things going on with healing up from my heart surgery. And I just want to say that I've made great progress. I'm doing great with my recovery. I'm going to be fine. I will be able to perform soon, maybe like around December or so, definitely January. So I'm doing okay. So that's all I really have to say about that. Now, if you like this video, then please click on the like button down below. As long as you're clicking on the like button, you might as well click on the subscribe and the notification bell. This way YouTube will alert you every time one of my new videos comes out. Hoping that there are new videos. So let's hope that I'm able to, keep to my promise to myself to at least do one video a week. Well, kids, you can always find me here on YouTube and on TikTok. Of course, on my Facebook page, and sometimes on Instagram. It depends. So really, that's everything I have to tell you. I've come clean with you about everything that's been going on in my life, and I'm doing well. And I hope to see you all again real soon. Bye bye.